How John Walker is different from Steve Rogers. Captain America stood as a symbol of courage, hope, and righteousness. But the symbol would certainly lose its meaning without the man behind it. Sam Wilson believed that Steve Rogers made the symbol of Captain America what it was. It totally belonged to him, and without him, it meant nothing. So Sam thought that surrendering the shield to the museum would be the right thing to do. But sadly, the government didn't share his opinion, and they didn't even value Steve's own choice for the next Cap. It didn't take a very long time for them to pick a new man for the mantle of Captain America. In the final moments of the Falcon and the Winter Soldier's first episode came John Walker. His selection as the new Cap hit us like a bad gut punch. The viewers just aren't liking the new choice of Cap, and Wyatt Russell is doing a remarkable job to keep that feeling intact. John Walker is a propaganda tool, and his deeds are supposed to infuriate the fans. He and Steve Rogers were two very different characters in the comics. And as we've seen throughout the 3 episodes, that's the case even in the MCU. Because of these dissimilarities, people are not sold on the new Cap. Let's see how these two Captain Americas are totally different from each other. Suit and artillery. Wyatt Russell mentioned that he initially asked Marvel to give him an old suit of Steve Rogers, but instead, Marvel made an entirely new suit for him. This time, the star had been fused with the letter A. It shows how Walker is a propaganda tool representing America. The red stripes are in line with his ultimate persona in the comics, that is US Agent. As for his weapons, he uses the new shield that Steve Rogers handed over to Sam Wilson. The show is yet to tell us how it's different from the old one, apart from the added lines and patterns that it has. Along with the shield, John Walker depends equally on guns. Steve Rogers did use a gun back in World War II, but he didn't rely on it after waking up in the present day. Instead, he used other gadgets such as a grappling device along with his shield. Approach and attitude. The constant reliance on a gun tells us that John Walker is much more brutal in his ways. He isn't afraid to go for the kill. Steve had the power, but he never used it to show his dominance over someone else. Walker, on the other hand, tries to certify his authority in every opportunity he gets. He comes off as extremely arrogant, calling himself the government, referring to Sam as Steve's wingman, and absolutely losing his cool after being spat upon. Even when he freed Bucky from his therapy program, he did it to use him in the field instead of lending a helping hand. To be precise, he is quite egotistical, and that will be the reason of his downfall. Steve, on the other hand, was very compassionate. Moral compass. Steve Rogers always held a high moral compass. Even when he was on the run and branded as a criminal of the Accords, he never let go of his righteousness. He was still fighting for good. Wyatt Russell recently revealed that the difference between John and Steve stems from the different eras they belong to. He said that they're both soldiers from different eras, and the era of John is very different from the era of Steve. There's a much different way of fighting now. You go in guns blazing first and ask questions later. John is the type of guy who's like, look, you want me to do the job? I will finish the job for you. Sometimes that might require things in the gray area where you are not comfortable, but I am, and I need to be able to do my job. What he means is that John Walker will follow any order, even if it means that he'd have to get his hands dirty. Steve Rogers, on the other hand, would never do something that he doesn't think is right. He'd go to greater lengths to keep his moral integrity intact. He even became a criminal for 2 years after Civil War. Super Soldier Serum. Steve Rogers was a little guy from Brooklyn with a lot of heart and intent. That's why Dr. Erskine's perfect version of the Super Soldier Serum enhanced all of his qualities. The word on John Walker is that he currently doesn't have a Super Soldier Serum in his body, but the latest episode revealed that Dr. Nagel was able to come up with a subtler version of the serum. No clunky machines, no jacked up bodies, is what he said. John Walker would have already been injected with Nagel's version of the serum, just like the Flag Smashers have. Or even if he doesn't have it in him yet, I have a strong feeling that he'd soon be getting it. So that's how John Walker and Steve Rogers are different. Do you think John Walker will turn out to be the ultimate villain of the series? Let us know in the comments. And make sure that you like and follow us on Facebook and subscribe to us on YouTube for more exclusive content. Thank you, and I'll see you in the next one.